First thing you want to do is welcome Chris. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for...
We always need more young blood.
Not too young, but yeah.
Well,
Young to the committee.
anything at all is better. Anybody here for public speak? Okay. Move right into the administrative items. Report from city officials. First business thing is approve the minutes for 6/11. Everybody should have a copy of that Chris sent you. And we only got one, two of us here to approve the minutes, but you don't need a quorum for a minute, so.
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay. Motion's been made to approve the minutes for June 11. All in favor?
Aye.
Then let's go straight to the planning department report.
All right. So,
Jamie?
planning department's been pretty busy. We have, well, this is an agenda. We got a traffic study that is being run through the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. We have a request. They do 2 traffic counts a year for each municipality. The mayor put in a request for services to do the traffic count before the school opens and after the school opens in order to look at any traffic calming measures that would be needed to be placed in the neighborhood after the school starts and traffic increases.
Yeah, I saw one on Bryant, Garfield,
Yep.
and Williston.
Yep. Also on Taft, Ward, and Hisgen. And what they'll be doing is they're going to be taking traffic volume and speed data.
Okay.
And then they're going to basically write a small report and about the traffic study that they
Now, is that
observed.
city control or is that state?
It's the streets are residential streets that are.
So it'd be a
I
city.
assume they're the city's DPW that would have any.
Do they have a deadline when they plan to have it all completed, or do they still working on it?
The traffic study itself. They're doing. They have to do the baseline study before school opens, so they're looking at doing that. I think the boxes are out there now, so I don't know when they're turned on, but they're turned on and they collect the data for about 48 hours.
Oh, they do? Is that how long they're going to take?
Yep. So they have, they'll have basically 2 days worth of data showing two peak, days and night traffic.
So they're going to do 48 before and 48 after?
That's the plan.
Okay, because the 4th of September is the open day.
Right, and then I think they're looking to do the second one mid to late September.
Okay.
So sort of after
Sure.
that initial rush kind of calms down.
Okay. Cool.
So I thought,
Can I just ask a quick question on this? Has a date been set for the grand opening?
Yes, 21st of September, and I'll talk about that when we get down to the school
Oh.
building thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No.
Parsons School, the city council, the surplus building is in the city council jurisdiction. So the
Parsons Street, they want to sell it.
The Parsons
The old
School,
elementary school that was been closed for
the
like...
school department determined that they no longer need that building. In the process for surplusing land and building in the city goes to the city council. The planning department had a public meeting in the neighborhood 3 weeks ago, and then presented that information that was gathered from the meeting to the city council. But now it's in the city council, it's in the property subcommittee right now, and they have to figure out what to do. They want to do a market study to determine what can feasibly go there. They're going to be taking their time with the project to make sure that they're doing it right.
Were you at the hearing?
I was not. It wasn't a hearing, it was just a small forum. We have information on the planning department website. that's notes, summarized notes from that meeting that was
Did you read
sent to the city council.
Was there any push about turning it back into elementary school that you saw?
Mostly people seemed to be concerned about more residential units being put into that neighborhood. And that seemed to be what I got out of it. I know that in a separate process from that meeting, that there is some look at using, maybe there's a charter school or something that wants to come into the neighborhood.
They don't want, or they do want residential there?
Some neighbors
They
don't
want
want it.
something more than a housing, is what the way I read it.
Yeah, that's what, they'd like to see what else can go in there. It's a split zone building. Half the zone half the building is in the neighborhood business district, which allows for commercial retail opportunities to happen. So there's a good potential that a mixed-use development can come out of that. Some housing and some services that would help the city. There's also a big push on the residents. They want more open space in the neighborhood. And I think the city is not selling the park land. There's a little playground behind the building.
Yeah.
And I believe
Lincoln
that's
Street side? Yeah.
that's staying with the city, so that's not part of the surplus land.
Because there's a lot of land at Parsons Street. There's a lot of land there.
There's a lot behind the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, so that's in the city council, and they're going to take their time to make sure that they do it right. So Union Street, we got a grant from the state to work with a consultant who will be doing a complete street study of Union Street in order to look at how to more fully integrate all the different users of Union Street: cars, bicyclists, pedestrians, people with movement disabilities, as well as the streetscape to make it a more nice place to be. And so we had a meeting in July where there were about 30 or 40
Was it good crowd?
members.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good number of people showed up.
Yeah, we took a walk up Union and back.
And so the consultants have been taking that information that they learned from the residents and that site visit, and they'll be having a follow-up meeting in mid to late September. I'll send you the information when that data set, where they will present some preliminary ideas and then present where they're going, and then the next step will be the final report.
Now, when you did the site visit for the walk through the last time, I got an email, did you do EDIC when you send the notice, or do you not?
I think I sent it to the EDIC and a bunch of other people, so I would just be CC'd.
Because if you don't, give it to me and I'll be sure everybody else knows about it, and I usually try to do
Everyone got information on that.
I think
Yeah, I did.
You did, okay,
Yeah.
good, all right.
So I sent it to everyone, but
Okay.
it was a really long mailing list, so
Yes.
I didn't want
Yeah.
someone to respond to all 100 people that were on the list. So I just
Right.
CC'd everyone, and
Okay.
so it only looked like you were getting it, but actually there was a lot of people getting it.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so the final report we expect should be completed around the end of the year. The Nashwanik Pond Boardwalk, the planning department submitted a application to the CPA for funds. We have submitted the grant to the state under the park grant, which is a reimbursable grant. So provided that we get the grant, we'll get the money back.
What was the amounts
What's that?
about? You know what the amounts were between the CPA request and
The total project is about $620,000. The state will reimburse up to $400,000, and I think the CPA request is about $250,000. 40,000.
Thank you.
And those numbers are with a little asterisk next to them. So there was a site visit 2 weeks ago by the State Department, the Executive Office of the Environmental Affairs, the people that manage the grant. They came out and took a look at the pond, and they want to make sure that they're not, so they have a good idea of what they're funding. And we'll hear back by mid to late October to know whether or not we got the grant from the state.
It would be nice if they could tie that in. Union Street with what's already been done on Cottage Street would be very nice for a point where they come together. It would be very...
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of the vision for, and what they're doing at Union Street is they're coming up with a conceptual vision, sort of a master plan for Union Street. So they're not actually coming up with a set of plans for Union Street. It's more of the guiding principles for how any project that we go forward with, what we want to see there. So there's a lot of flexibility for if we can get the money sooner on Union Street to do reconstruction, versus later, that those plans will be able to adapt to the current conditions.
Okay.
Mills, Pleasant Street Mills. We have easements agreements between the mill owners and the city are currently being reviewed by the city council and the city solicitor, and they'll be taken up by the full city council on September 4th. And we're hoping, once all those agreements are signed, we're going to have shovels in the ground by the end of the year.
Can you explain? I don't want to interrupt the process.
No. Yes, questions as we're going here.
I don't know what the Pleasant Street Mills project is.
Yeah. So you can actually see on the map right above, those group of red buildings.
Yep. I know the East Works for sure.
Yep.
Point of where we are.
And so what they're,
We're right in that building there.
Does these works?
well, we're down
We're down to the...
Oh.
with the red circle is basically.
Oh, okay.
We're here.
Yeah.
All right.
It was on Pleasant.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing is, it's an infrastructure improvement grant to upgrade the water lines, the sewer lines, the electrical feeds, the electric lines, and at the same time, what the easements are about is we're creating some parking on the city-owned land, and the mill owners are going to be opening up the back of those mill buildings. They're going to do renovations on the mill buildings themselves to open up the buildings to the bike path.
They want to come in from
So that-
behind instead of off Pleasant Street is the idea.
And I mean, my question is there a vision? Are we trying to create more potential venues for future employers?
Yeah, basically, the mills have been being reinvested for the last 20 years.
Yeah, mostly what's the first one there?
Eastworks. Eastworks started it.
You know about Eastworks?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So there's other mills that want to do basically the same thing. Businesses on the lower part, apartments above, condos, whatever.
And what they found
And the
out,
bike path runs behind it, so it's a great idea to come in from behind.
So it's basically infrastructural support projects and easements.
We'll just park there and then go up.
It's infrastructural support and easements in order to make it possible for other businesses to open.
yeah, right now the mill owners are struggling with providing, they have enough square footage of space, they have a lot of empty space there that they'd like to clearly have tenants in, but they're having a hard time with parking. Because there's not a lot of on-street parking and there's not a lot of parking behind the mill building, they're not able to fully get people interested. If you don't have
Electrical's
People have to
old,
get to work.
Yeah.
I understand they need power.
fire
So to
safety.
be able to
fire
drive
safety is
in
not-
behind the mills.
Yeah, so you would come
To
in,
park. And is that city land, or where's the city land you're talking about?
the city land, the bike path is on the city's property.
Right.
And then from the bike path to the river, or to the lower mill pond, is all city land. And somewhere between the bike path and where the current parking lot is now is where that line is between the city and the mill owners. I'm not sure exactly, and it kind of moves all over the
And there's
place.
a railroad there too, right?
Not
The rail
anymore.
lines run through there?
No, we bought, the city bought the rail lines and put a bike path on it.
That's the bike path.
Oh, okay. That's good.
The other thing too is, one of the reasons, part of this is that there is a public safety consideration.
Right.
Like, don't keep
Well,
going exactly, but like the fire department can't get vehicles back
Yeah,
there.
right.
Right, so part of
That was a big thing right there.
They can't get their ladder trucks up because the electric lines are so old and
Yeah,
non-conforming to the current standards, so they become a hazard. So if the fire trucks can't get back there, you can't really have, high-end residential units.
And is this inclusive of the whole row of the,
Yeah, it's
All
from,
backside, everybody.
it's all but Ferry Street. And so I believe there's 8 mill owners, and there's a lot of agreements to be worked out, and
And there's 3 in particular that have gone together in this right now.
well, they're all, the 3 mill owners were the ones who kick-started the
Yeah.
idea, but now all of the mill owners are involved.
Oh, okay.
So,
Good.
Thank you.
well, it also takes up space in their front parking lots that they need for business. Residents have to.
Well, they're opening, what their idea is to open up the back of the building,
Right,
to
so
make the
the
back of the
residents.
building would be
The
where the
entrance.
main entrance is to the building, not that.
Oh, really?
And maybe, East works because they have a good parking lot and entrance already off Pleasant Street. They may not shift everything down, but definitely the, like Paragon and the buildings, except the
Mill 180,
Mill 180, like they'll be,
Brickyard.
they don't have as much upfront parking, so they're much more interested in having a lot behind them.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, it's a good future expansion for business, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
15 Cottage Street, we're still waiting. There's some negotiations between Riverside Industries and the developers of 15 Cottage, and they need to finish their negotiations before before Arch Street can close and sign and pull the permits.
Now, that's mostly going to be apartments, right?
It's going to be entirely apartments. It's I believe 50 units of low to moderate income housing. You can live there. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be really high end,
Oh, not high end.
but for low to moderate income. But it's going to be well done. It's not going to be
Yeah, it's not going to be,
like
What will you have to do to get in there?
proof that you are in that income bracket.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that won't be too difficult.
all of this, since you're well-to-do.
I've been worried about getting the kibbles and bits, so maybe it's a good place to go.
Yeah, right.
Whatever happened with I remember Jessica was talking about the timing involved with this, with was it back taxes and things like that. Did that ever get resolved?
Well, they
Because
still,
there's a delay
they
factor.
still haven't paid their back taxes.
Oh, okay.
So, because they still haven't paid their back taxes, they're still going up. And there was something that was related to when they were paying in closing in order for us to get some money from the state.
Yeah,
Because
that
it's
was-
in the smart growth district and it's part of the smart growth,
Oh, okay.
but that'll just be delayed.
Okay. I knew there was something had to do with it that Jessica brought up once.
And the last thing I want to talk about is the Clean Energy Collaborative, it's the Clean Energy Center. So I have some flyers here. They're Easthampton, Amherst, Hadley, and Holyoke are working with the PVPC to take one.
Is that new business A we're talking about?
It's actually still part of the,
Okay.
oh yeah, it is, new business A. Is it okay if I move on?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do right that, go right into it.
I just thought I left that off the agenda.
Does anybody have any more questions about the first 6 we covered here? Before we go on to new business? Okay.
I see by the flyer that the anaerobic, what you call them? I can't remember what the
Did everyone get a copy of the flyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that kind of a result of Easthampton kind of hopping on there early? I know you had mentioned or that since we started investigating other cities and things, they're looking into it too.
Yeah, I mean, we have the solar on the landfill. We're investigating the anaerobic digestion plant. We have that study. We're going to hear back in February, next February, so when the report's due from the consultant. But this is a sort of more regional, we're working with a few different communities, but it's really Pioneer Valley Planning Commission who's spearheading this. And what they're doing is they want to explore possibilities for clean energy production in Easthampton, that where we are doing well, where we're not doing well, we have capacity to improve. So one of the things that they're looking into, Easthampton just got a grant with Western Mass Electric. If you want to take a look at that, we'll just pass it around. So that was on Cottage Street, Main Street, from Western Mass Electric is going to be doing energy efficiency upgrades on a bunch of businesses along. I forget what's the street?
It was Cottage Street.
It's Cottage. Okay,
I think you're right.
yeah, Cottage Street. So they're going to be looking at other opportunities to explore energy efficiency, or adding into the energy portfolio, such as more rooftop solar. And there's a possibility of looking at commissioning a study to identify the roofs that have the best aspect for solar, as well as new clean energy businesses, such as the anaerobic plant. So they're having this conference on September 18th. The EDIC is invited to represent Easthampton. The chamber is also invited. I don't know if you received an email from Jessica about that yet.
No.
Okay, but so if you and Pat wanted to go, or other representatives of the chamber, the Master Plan and Implementation Committee's been asked to represent. There's an energy committee that recently formed. They've been asked to go as well to represent Easthampton at this forum.
The City Energy Commission? A city group?
City, yeah. It's a new committee formed this summer, I think. So hopefully we have enough representatives there from the city to speak to this, how can we increase the amount of clean energy produced in Easthampton.
Jamie's the Western Wamco's.
This was in the Gazette last week.
Oh, okay.
For free. Small businesses on Cottage Street. No, well, that Perfect Arrangements isn't on Cottage Street.
So this is, maybe it's the...
Cottage Union,
Okay. Yeah.
small.
The chamber was involved with this?
Yeah, we distributed some, between the mayor and us, we distributed the original flyer on that. That's the inquiry. I think there were 30
were selected?
30 grants available. I don't know where it sits right now, but yeah.
So it's a good program, and hopefully we can continue to do more to increase our energy efficiency and
Well, you should know
clean energy in the city.
that solar array on the top of the high school is paying dividends already. They're sucking back electricity to Wemepco and reversing the charge. So, yeah,
Good.
yeah,
We gotta do more though.
yeah, exactly. Okay. How about B? Is that you too?
Yep. Jamie showed it.
Jamie, I'm so glad you're here. Well, can I say something about that
Yeah.
bridge area? And how they said they weren't gonna do anything more, but they must have done something because that awful, there was a huge difference between West Street and Main Street, and the cars were, I mean, it was bad, this jump. But
Oh,
they must
the
have
little-
put some more tar in there or something because it's more gradual. And they had said they weren't gonna do anything more until the bridge was put in, but I think
You mean at the
it's-
turn there? Yeah,
think they
the
did
separation
something.
between the paved part and the cement?
I think
Yeah.
they did something to make it not as bad as it was.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So this potentially developable land, vacant and underutilized land map, was developed for the planning department by an intern over last semester in the summer. And it was compiled using our GIS information and the assessor's data that was a year or two old. So we have this map that's trying to identify where we have underutilized land that can be developed and vacant land that can be developed as well. But we're at the end of what the data can provide. So I'm bringing this to the committee in the hopes that people know some of these parcels and can sort of error check or add to it where things might be missing, or to cross out where things are wrong. So if anyone has any thoughts, we can write directly on this map. It's just a draft version, and then we'll be taking back the.
I don't know enough about land use here.
I'm trying to picture some of it. This is Union, right? Yeah, because that's where
Yeah.
the rail trail is. That little
This is
corner
Cottage.
of Railroad Street.
Cottage.
That's usually-
This is Route 10, Northampton Street.
This must be Mike's parking lot behind our building. Wouldn't that be High Street there? And that's Big E's?
Yeah, this is Payson.
Are you talking about the little red spots?
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be red.
Well, I don't know. It's owned by,
What's the yellow?
Yellow is
Residential.
it's zoned residential, but there's currently nothing on that property. Some of this,
Are you saying that's Cottage Street?
this is Cottage.
No, but
This is Cottage right here, I'm sorry. This
where's
is Oil Street.
going over to the mountain?
Right.
It's-
Right here. Here's
Yeah.
Oil Street.
Because, oh, okay, so all that yellow stuff over there is maybe like East
this is
Street?
East
This is
Street.
East Street.
Some of this, so what's taken out, the way the methodology here, if it was protected land, it was not considered developable. If it's land that, has a agricultural preservation restriction, it also was not listed as potentially developable. So these would be lands that could be developed, not necessarily land that we want to see developed. But these are,
Yeah.
Let's develop behind Susan's house.
I can't,
Stop and shop over there.
I'm trying to figure out what this,
Housing.
it's kind of hard with the way this is.
yeah,
This almost looks like
the color
the
didn't print.
the Button Building area, and that
Yeah.
looks like Riverside
Right,
here.
this
I
is
don't
like,
know why that would be.
well, so what happens is these are the parcels, not the buildings.
Oh, okay.
So
That could be a piece of
that
that.
could be the Button Building, or it could be,
Trying to tell. What's
this is the
seven
rail,
Button?
this is the rail trail.
Yeah.
So that parcel is actually
Yeah,
city
here's
land.
Railroad Street. I'm just curious. And like I say, if I'm looking at this properly, I think that's High Street.
Mhm.
And that could be the parking lot that behind Union Street, I think. And that's owned by Big E's, and they use it for customer parking. And
Check that
or
out.
then again, it could be the parking lot behind. It could be the part of that could be the parking lot behind Snap Fitness.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because this is the
Right. So, I mean, it could be Typically, the parking lots should be shown as parking lots as part of that same lot. But,
Conjecture.
If they're not,
It's
you know,
kind of little.
yeah.
And gee, what's this? Just kidding.
All right, is that the bank? No, this is the bank, it's up here.
That's the bank.
And now this piece here is the new parking lot?
Yeah. That's a new parking lot, and that's open. There's Florence Road.
I don't know how too many kids are difficult.
This is the 1 Ferry Street
Yeah.
parcel. Or, you know, if there's other people that you know that would be able to weigh in on.
Tom Brown needs to.
Tom Brown would be good.
Well, you know,
Maybe
why-
Dave Royal.
Yeah.
Speaking of David Boyle, he
David would be excellent with that.
tends to come back.
What?
He's gonna come back on the convenience fee.
Who said?
He said he'd
Really?
like to come back.
Now?
Soon.
Who's on the other board there, the planning board?
No.
There's something, because it's on my TV.
Oh, he was on the
Highway business.
Well,
highway
Have
business,
Yeah.
which is,
Exactly, that's what I said. Hurry back. But he was gone for a while because he had some problems with businesses and medical, so I just spoke to him a week ago. He'd like to come back because he liked being there, so
Well, we would certainly love to have him.
that's what I said. Whenever you're ready, make it on over here. The more the merrier. Okay, so if we can just keep our eyes open, but we'll look at this each time we have a meeting and
Yeah, I
maybe we
mean,
can add to
I'd
it.
like to get it updated so we can actually use it.
Well, that's a far cry from what we used to do. Nobody knew anything about anything for the longest time, and now this is a good start anyway.
Yeah. You know, there are clearly errors on it,
Yeah.
and it's not,
Well, see,
and again, it's not our priorities for development, it's just what's potentially
Okay.
developable.
Well, you must know some people who would help us update this thing as well, and,
well, you know, I'm thinking like you both said, Dave's got a good handle, Tom's got a good handle on it too.
yeah, even Mike Superson.
We could ask him about that. It's so hard to tell by that.
Yeah, yeah.
It would help to know what streets those are. It's hard to even
That
identify
stuff,
those.
Yeah, and it's tough to get it all in one.
Yeah.
stretch.
Well,
there.
it's a good start, and we can add to it as we go, and we can make a new one. When we get to a point where we're too marked up, we'll make another one
Yep.
and add to it.
So you guys want to see this again in a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
We might as well pull it out each time and put it on the agenda,
All right. Keep it there.
because we're not going to get any
In
progress.
hopes that Tom comes to one of the meetings.
Well, you will.
Potentially.
That's the last one.
He was at the last one.
Oh, yeah, well, that
Uh-huh.
was,
Okay.
My question about this is, I mean, I haven't been here long enough to understand all this, although it's obviously good to have the information, but if someone came to this town and said, hey, look, I want to open up a light manufacturing business, is there someone here?
See, that was our,
Yeah.
That's the purpose.
that was our problem. We
Yeah.
didn't have something like this to
Yeah.
say, yeah, here's a spot. We didn't know. So this is a good start for us, yeah.
And so someone in the town will be able to introduce,
Yeah, typically it's through the planning department. We get we get a fair amount of leads, regional leads for manufacturing and other business leads, and it's been very difficult to, you know, they're looking for a certain size or certain access requirements, and
Of course, like you say, that's only potential. It's not available, it's
Right.
potential, so.
but, again, it's my first meeting.
Oh, sure,
I have to
no,
learn,
sure,
but
absolutely.
what I'm hearing is that there is this improving understanding of open property that's available, and then there are these buildings, these ex-factories on Pleasant Street that are in the process of undergoing infrastructural improvements where they could be a good place to start, for certain types of businesses, or an incubator to start a business until their property is
Yep.
developed, that kind of thing.
And I'm sure we've got others too that we're not even aware of because we don't know where they are, so yeah, you're right.
I mean, and this information is only information that we had that collectively we could think of in the planning department or was listed on the assessor's database. So there is a code for vacant or underutilized, but it's not going to show up, things that are owned and someone's paying taxes on, and
Well, we actually saw some of those places on that walk we did that
Yeah.
last survey. People kept saying, "You mean to tell me that's still vacant?"
Right,
and we forgot about it because
the-
they didn't
the,
list it on there.
Hardy and Scarry building
That's
is
the one
not
in particular.
listed in the assessor's database as vacant, even though
Yeah.
it's clearly a vacant underutilized.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it looks bad. I mean,
Right.
it's the dregs right across from the restaurant. There's a
Isn't that a
used to be
landlord problem?
Used to be a Hurry and Scurry with a copy place.
Oh, yes, I know exactly.
Next to
what
the
you're
auto
Is that a
parts store.
landlord?
Yeah.
Or next to the-
Next up
Is it
behind the
always-
auto parts store, yeah.
It ought to be raised.
And just out of curiosity, because I do walk on the trail, when you cross Ferry Street and start curving around towards the river, the Connecticut River, where is that parcel of land where there's that huge complex that's in decay there?
That's one ferry, and that's, I think it's right on this corner. I think it's shown here in that purple, but I don't think the parcel map is exactly getting all of it. So it looks like it should be actually on this side.
Trees growing out of this roof.
Yeah, and I look at it sometimes and I think to myself, wow, this could be like a meeting and conference center.
Yeah, exactly.
It has potential. I'm just curious to know if it's on the list, and it is. Sounds to me like it needs to be a little larger, though. I mean, the footprint on this map might need to be a little larger.
Well, I would assume that, Jamie, you and Jessica at some point could probably go visit spots like that and say, it's got to be bigger than that on our map and things like that to verify the fact that somebody come to you and say, here's how big it should look on there instead of how it does look,
Yeah, I mean,
to help improve the map. So
yeah, that's
we can do that as we go. Yeah.
the big thing is just picking out the knowledge that everyone has about what's around them and what's vacant and what isn't vacant. The stuff that doesn't show
Or
up.
what you hear, yeah.
Yeah, the Hardy and Scarry building, it doesn't show up on the assessor's database. So those are the types of things that we're looking to show on this map.
Okay.
And but on the positive side, this map shows we really don't have that much vacant and underutilized land.
Right.
It shows that.
We have according to we have a small amount of industrial land and very small amount of commercial land that can be developed that doesn't already have buildings on it or tenants. We have a bit more residential, but most of these, I think, are where we have farming. So
Right.
hopefully,
And you said the protected lands are not shown there.
well, they're shown in green.
The green.
With the hatch.
Okay,
If they're permanently protected.
Okay.
But if they're under an agricultural preservation restriction, I believe that they're shown just as, not as, they're not developed, and
They're not developable.
they're not immediately developable, so they weren't included.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Old business? Josh not here for...
What's that?
Nothing about the good?
That's enough under old business.
Let's come. Oh, I thought.
Read your agenda.
I thought we were. Yeah, number
Poor
five.
Granny. Local Works,
That thought we were still, oh.
Josh?
They haven't met since,
First week in July.
Yeah, we'll leave that.
We meet next week.
Yeah, we'll leave it for our next one.
Yeah, we meet next week, and Josh had downloaded some information from the survey into a spreadsheet, and my assistant and I are working on that to try to make it a little easier. If you printed it out the way everything else, it's the way Josh did the spreadsheet, something like 281 pages or something.
yeah. I haven't had a chance to go through it yet.
Okay, well Denise is just working, trying to make things a little more compact, so it's better to
Yeah.
keep doing it. But there's a lot of variable information in there.
Yeah,
That's the situation with it.
so we gotta clean it and gotta work, get some results.
Yes.
If you took that survey, it was tedious, to say the least.
Well, they got a lot of data from
I
it.
bet you
Yeah,
did.
there is a lot of data.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand it.
Yes, and that is the point that the committee is at, subcommittee.
Yeah.
Okay. Route 10 Bridge, I just saw the email that said we're going to open in October.
Really?
Yeah, there was
As
a,
opposed to December.
yeah, Pat Ruff.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, Pat Ruff tended
Never hear
to...
about that.
Pardon?
It just happened this morning, there was a meeting with the DPW, I
It
mean,
was Frank, Frank DePaulo was the administrator of the Highway Division of Mass DOT. And I did not attend, Pat Ruff did, just gave me some information. There is, of course, an article on Mass Live, there's an article
Facebook,
before he
something
had
on
it,
Facebook,
Facebook, the chamber resent the Mass Live article, I believe. But basically, they're saying they're ahead of schedule. One article said during October, an article that was, I believe, in the Mass Live said early October. But as in any kind of project, it's not
they could run into it, let's
cement or so. But, they're, from our understanding is, they are doing their best to take advantage of the incentives that are being
Yeah, they're going to make a big,
This is the same company that finished the bridge in Chicopee 14 months ahead. So, but I don't know, nothing is set in stone, just what they had there. I was also informed that, I forget where I read that, this would be, if the bridge open, if and when it does happen, there's still going to be more construction around after the bridge is open, to finish off sidewalks and abutments and things like that. So the project will continue. But is the hope to be in before the deadline.
yeah.
That's great.
That'd be great.
So, yeah, it would be like 45 days before it's supposed to be.
Yeah, as I say,
Summer, so it's a big chunk of change, because they were going to be fined heavily if they didn't make it on time, so they're going to make money here, so yeah.
Are there any reports from businesses that they've been affected by it?
yes, yeah, they have been, they've definitely been affected by it.
Some more than others, I think. But
Yeah, some more than others, but they're doing the best. There was a situation in early, it was after our last EJC meeting, where directional signs that folks had put on, picture O'Neill Street where the new bank is, right across from that intersection on Northampton Street. Some of the businesses had put signs on that property, which are not up to code. Non-premise signs?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we have a sign ordinance.
Yeah, and a sign ordinance. So the chamber worked to see what they could do to just assist those people, because people are coming up to that intersection and still not knowing where to go. So
And they saw the
basically,
bridge closed.
yeah, I said, well, no, I said Northampton Street,
I've been asked, I'm just walking on the street.
Route 10 businesses are open. There was a sign, but it was further down Lovefield Street, say 100 feet, 200 feet. So we asked, there was people in the city and the Mass DOT got their heads together and moved that sign onto property that the state had the easement for.
Okay.
And then the state allowed these folks to put these approximately 18 by 24 foot signs, on the posts that were the state property, and at least it helped out that situation.
I've come Florence Road a couple times, coming back from Northampton or other places, and a lot of traffic there, more than it was when this thing first started. So people were finding their way back to Northampton Street, so it's better than it was, I think, but when we first started, they were really struggling, so, yeah. And they knew they would, I mean,
Well, it was nice that they made adjustments as they went along.
they did,
Because
yeah.
when you came down O'Neill, turned onto Ferry, that light was timed so that those on Pleasant Street and those straight ahead that had an equal amount of time, but now the people that are turning
Yeah, the middle
have a longer
streets.
time, and believe me, that helped greatly.
Yes.
And
And
there
I
just,
take that every day.
yeah, and there just isn't the room at that intersection, the width of the road to accommodate for turning lanes and things like that.
Yeah.
But
That would be
that's the
ideal, but they
scariest thing
can't.
for me is, it amazes me, the people on the bike path are not diligent about stopping.
That's
And when
because
you're
of the
turning,
pedestrian rule in the whole state of whatever, Massachusetts.
I'm surprised there hasn't been.
I agree with that, because they don't look.
They don't,
just go.
no, they think they can go because they're
Not vehicles.
not
Yeah,
vehicles.
well, you know,
They
Well,
don't
it's
see
scary
the
because of
stop
the
sign.
traffic that's lined
it
up.
does.
If they're
They
coming
don't
there,
see
you
them.
can't see
Yeah,
them.
I agree.
So as you're
I
coming
agree
down,
with
it's
that,
like,
yeah.
whoa.
Another oddity is why do they have a left turn signal on O'Neill Street when there's no left-hand lane? I mean, coming up Route 10, not O'Neill Street, coming up Route 10.
Towards
When you
Easthampton.
stop at O'Neill Street and that light, the light will go green with
That's
a
right.
dot and
That's
an
right,
arrow.
brother.
And it's like there's only one lane, so I don't
There's
understand.
no turning lane.
I think it's to show you that there's no one coming straight at you.
Okay.
If there was only a,
Well, if that's gonna be permanent, they should have widened the road to have 2 lanes.
Maybe they still will. I don't know.
that's, they're putting the green
That's
curving there.
Huh?
They're done.
They're done.
Are they done?
Yeah, that's all done except. for-
Okay.
Moving on.
All right, let's go to school building. I can tell you that there is no old high school anymore over there. The parking lot is in, the curbing's in, the grading's being finalized today. They're gonna start the base coat tomorrow. Top coat goes in on Friday. Concrete sidewalks and the rest of that's being done this week also. Yeah, the plantings will be done in October when planting season comes. They won't do that right away, which we asked for. We don't want them planting and then die. I mean, let's do planting season. For everybody's information, the grand opening is September the 21st at 11 a.m. That's a Saturday. I think there might be a open house attached to that at the end of it, but I'm not sure. It'll be in the newspaper. I've already contacted most people. It's not going to be long. It's going to be an hour or so for the opening and speeches and ribbon cutting, and we're going to put the time capsule into the new building at the same time. That's being put together right now. And then I'll be done.
How'd the brick giveaway go?
It went,
Sorry for you guys.
we had 500. I had to put aside 500. The day Pat and I got there, like, it was supposed to start from 9 to 11. We got there like at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and somebody had already taken a couple hundred, at least 200, either the night before or early that day. But he and I broke bricks for a lot of long hours. But I think we had 160 people in less than 40 minutes show up there for a brick or two.
Wow.
So we went through them, and everything we had went. But it's turned out to be very nice. It's a nice open space, a lot of extra parking now because the old school is gone and that's all parking now. And approaches to the high school, the new high school. So it's very nice. It's going to be a beautiful place, and all our kids and grandkids can go there. So other than that, we're in good shape there right now.
You gotta be feeling good.
I do, and
Should be proud of them.
I'll be glad when it's all done and I can...
Hang that hat up on the wall.
Well, I have, my grandkids live in Holyoke, but they're in this school system, so I got them over here, so they'll all be coming out of Easthampton High School, so I get some of that money back anyway. Let somebody else paying the tuition instead of me, right? Let's go to D Regional Site Selector Location Request. That's this thing right here.
Yeah,
you see?
sorry, it should have been,
So we've kind of picked that apart.
next meeting's wrong.
Yeah.
Did I hear that a charter school's moving into town?
They want to. The old, what's the...
The old, Leland Scan Optic,
You've been optical?
Leland Optical, been scan. Lovefield Street, the industrial parkway.
Down where the buses park, right on that side there?
Right, so it's it's the first building on the right, so you've got A to Z storage, and it's right on the right, it's right like in the back towards Chilton Shops.
Well, it looks like a private school is what it will look like, but this is the group that had the one in Florence,
Was it Hilltown
Yeah,
Church?
Hilltown
in
Charter.
Haydenville. The one on the left, it limped along the river, that one big nice building there, remember that little one there?
Oh, yeah.
That's where their charter school was. They want to move over
I don't know
here.
what the status is on that.
I don't either.
It's in negotiation, it's private, that's a landowner,
Yeah.
a private landowner, and the school,
Yeah.
from what I heard, they have a school committee, relocation committee, so I assume that they're looking at multiple
Yeah.
sites and that they'll,
And they like this one the best, so that's what last I heard and read in the paper, but I don't know what it's going to be.
So the students would come from where?
all over.
No matter where, if you can get there, you can go to a charter school.
So, I mean, it's not a competitive thing with our school system, it's more of an
Well,
opportunity.
it probably will be. Charter schools are a thorn in our side anyway, because they take our students, but
But they would create some jobs too.
they would.
Yeah.
They don't pay any taxes, but it's part of the problem.
Yeah, so they're in the industrial zone, we don't have a lot of industrial land, so.
But there might be an opportunity to, for example, I hear about these new medium income apartments that we were talking about earlier on Cottage Street, where we could maybe approach them if this is actually going to happen and say, hey, we'd love to have some of your teachers or administrators, become part of our community.
It would, hopefully would mean more people to come to town and say, hey, this is a nice town that we want to live here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the percentage is on the 15 Cottage Street apartments, but there's some amount that would have to be from Easthampton. It's like
Yeah, okay.
40% or something like that. It's,
I don't know what teachers' compensation is, but it can't be much higher than moderate income.
Well, I would agree with that. Yeah.
So,
depends on how many kids you have.
yeah.
Not a bad salary if you're single.
And somebody said to me about the charter school is going to take away from the Easthampton High School or Easthampton schools because of people wanting to go there. But if we're not offering something that charter school is going to offer, maybe we should, which will be
The charter school just a elementary school?
at this point, it's just elementary, I think. It's not high school. But
I don't know
I'm not
about
too
it.
sure, but I think you're right, Jane, I'm not totally sure on that.
I don't either. I don't know where it stands either. I haven't heard
I
anymore.
don't know much more than what was in the paper a couple weeks
It's
ago.
actually elementary and middle school.
That middle school?
Right.
At Hilltown?
Yes.
Okay.
Elementary and middle school. Also, just regarding taxes, if they move into that building you were talking about in the industrial park, because the corporation that owns that building and would lease it to the school is a for-profit business, there would be no loss in tax revenue.
Right, I saw that in the paper too, that there is going to be taxes, but it comes from the landowner, so,
Yeah.
yeah. But not the school, they won't.
But it does, I suppose, present with a charter school actually in town, a draw,
Yeah.
potential draw away from these kind of public schools. But they are a public school also.
Right.
Under the
They're just a little funny. They do strange stuff like Chinese and stuff, so.
Well, they have
Not
Chinese.
at the Hilltown school.
No. Right.
Because that one over.
But you got the Pioneer Valley Performing Arts is a charter school, isn't it? Over in South Hadley?
Yeah.
Pioneer Valley Performing Arts Academy? That's what
Pretty sure it's a charter.
What about that one, the Chinese?
Chinese immersion is
Is that one?
also charter.
Let me tell you, those kids from that school are like super, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, because they come to the bank every year. And to listen to what they know and the questions they ask, and it's nothing compared to our public schools, I hate to say it. I mean, these kids, where we don't teach a lot of history and all that stuff now, like I mean, they have it well over. But, you know, they're small, and there's the time to do that sort of thing.
One-on-one, almost, yeah. Right.
Next meeting, what's
It's the 17th of September.
Yeah.
4 p.m. still work for everyone?
Pardon me?
4 p.m. still work for everyone?
Yeah.
Does it not work for you?
I'm here at 5, works great.
And before we adjourn, as of this meeting, I'm going to resign as the chair of this committee.
How could you?
Okay. Did you give us a formal letter?
Not necessary.
And who is the vice chair?
We do not have one. So what I'm going to do,
We're gonna have elections.
we're going to put it on the agenda for next time, to start looking for a new one. Now, we can still have these meetings and not have a chair, but,
We'll just have to have an acting chair.
yeah.
So,
Maybe we should appoint an acting chair until, to the point that we actually have a chair and
Let's
vice
see,
chair.
who's not here?
That's what I said. How about this new Josh? He's not there.
I don't think he's too happy with that. You know, he's got a lot of irons in the
and the election of the chair is done by this committee, or?
Yes.
Okay, so I get to cash in on being a rookie, at least for a few months. Is there some way to get access, give a person who's interested in that position, the floor for a period of time to sort of sell why that interested party is qualified to do the job?
Certainly.
If we
That's a
want
good
to put that
start.
in
Well, it's a good start, but we have trouble finding people who are interested in doing that.
So far,
It's not
So
like we
if you're
have,
interested in doing that, you
I'm
better
not
say
qualified
so.
at this point.
Doesn't matter.
I'm a humble person.
Don't go that far. There are people who've been there for a long time.
Well, I know, but I don't know anybody who wants to, although I thought Josh did, but.
It's like any city board, it's difficult to get people,
Yeah.
it's not an overbearing job, but it takes time, it takes, you have to put your agendas together and
Yeah.
pay
And
attention
we
to what's
we
going
have no,
on.
I mean, how can we
You have to have
elect,
fine appreciation of Robert's Rules of Order as well, I think.
Yeah,
So,
how can we elect anybody when we don't know if there's anybody interested?
well, that's why we put it on the agenda for next time, we'll talk about it some more, and maybe we'll come up with someone.
sounds good.
Yes, I think so. It's a start, anyway.
And although I'm not a member of this board, thank you for your service.
Well, I'm in the process of, once I get this done and then the school building committee done, then I'll have something to step back a little bit and take a breather and maybe do something else that I've been wanting to do, so that's the only reason I'm doing it. I'm 72, there's a lot younger people that should jump in here and start, so it's time. If you don't know, I've been the school building committee chair for 11 years. We've been trying to do this process, so.
so that's interesting because, this whole school project started with a vision. And of course, it took a lot of effort to get the funds and the
Well, I was on that same commission with the mayor in 1998, when it was the vision for schools, and then we got the committee together in 2000. So we've been at this a long time, so.
Well, congratulations. for
It's
the
coming
job.
out very nice,
Almost well
yeah, I'm
done
very
at this
pleased with
point.
how it's come out, yeah. It's beautiful down there, really is. The culmination is September 21st.
And
Okay.
may I add, there's no reason why you aren't a member, Mr.
Yes.
There is a reason?
he doesn't want
You're
to
not
share.
allowed?
I'm not that I'm not allowed, it's just that I'm on a lot of.
Well, you are, yes, you go to every meeting in the town, pretty much.
Well, I wouldn't
I
say
see at
that.
all of them, so.
I try to make what I can.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you think?
All right, so a motion for adjournment? Motion is made and seconded, all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Jamie, for hard work.
Thanks for jumping in there, and anybody else you know?
Thanks for showing up, someone to share it with.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think David.
Because